The gang, which has been dubbed Carbonac,
Carbonac.
The authors of the report call it the great bank robbery of the modern era.
Their ultimate goal was to steal as much money as possible, and they largely accomplished that.
It turned out that the bank's domain controller was sending sensitive data to unknown servers in China. The domain controller is the most important server of any business, and if you can access the domain controller, you have control over everything else in that network. So, if this server is doing things that nobody knows about, the bank probably has a very big problem. Astonished by the fact that someone hacked into the domain controller of a bank worth billions of dollars, the Kaspersky employees went to work. However, some of the computers had the screen-sharing software VNC installed on them, and upon questioning the bank about it, they found out that nobody ever installed it. One of Kaspersky's experts then thought that someone must be spying on the bank employees for some reason. To test his theory, he opened a blank Word document on one of the computers and wrote, "Hello," and waited, until the computer suddenly began to type on its own. "Hello, you won't catch us," was the reply. The experts were now dead set on catching the mysterious hackers, and went on to try and find out just how on earth they managed to gain control over something as important as the domain controller. They discovered that a bank employee had received an email from someone who was claiming to be a legitimate customer. However, in reality, this email was completely fake. To make things even worse, this email had a malicious Word document attached to it. The hackers had infected the file with their malware, and once the bank's employee opened this document, the malware activated itself and installed a VNC backdoor on the computer. This is what is known as a phishing attack, or to be more specific, a spear phishing attack. In these types of attacks, hackers try to look as credible as possible by creating emails that mimic real people or businesses. These emails usually have an infected file attached to them, which can be anything from a Word, Excel, or PowerPoint document, and in some cases even images or video files. Once they successfully infected a computer, the hackers could now remotely watch and control the machine. The attackers then used this infected PC to infect the rest of the machines connected to the network and to search for the administrator's computer.